Started. All right. Thank you. Hey everyone. What's up? It is Ossiana, and I kind of got into this mode where I really just wanted to have some hot pot and talk politics. So this is pretty much like a typical, well, not really typical, but like a standard work week. So I just wanted to talk. I wanted to see how things are. How's everyone doing? Um, I think we have a little bit of a lag, but I wanted to do something where, I'm out and about. In case you guys are wondering, I am at a K-pot, Korean hot pot. It's definitely awesome. So I'm very much a K-pot type of gal. And yeah, like I just kind of want to talk a little bit about what's been going on with the political scene. I don't think that most people have reported on something pretty insane recently that happened, which is that, well, for one thing, uh, oh, thank you. Yep, green tea. We actually had, a headline saying that, holy shit, Texas's Senate flipped blue. That is a 32-point swing from where it once was. So, like, just the fact that Texas is now swinging blue is a massive deal. I don't think that a lot of people realize like how big of a deal that is. Texas is not only like blood red when it comes to just, you know, the people there, especially like in rural areas, but it's also perhaps one of the most heavily gerrymandered states in the union. I'm having a hard time seeing if anybody is whatchamacallit, if anybody can reply to me. So if you can see this and if you can reply, tell me what you think about what happened with Texas. Tell me about what you think about it flipping blue, because I am very interested. Also, I'm just getting my sauces ready for hot pot, so please don't mind me. I'm just doing my cha-cha sauce, and let's see, maybe, what do you think? Should I have hot oil or chili sauce with sunchang? Maybe sacha and sunchang. There we go. Yeah, that looks good, right? Decarceration says Texas GOP got too comfortable. They run the least electable goons. It was a matter of time. And you know what? I believe you. And oh my god, I just realized I left my kimchi. Sorry. Hi, decarceration. By the way, you're Jersey bound, so we probably should hang out at one point or another and just do a live together. Now that I'm divorced, I have a lot more free time on my hands. So I definitely want to explore Jersey with other people. So if any of my followers are sitting there and you're Jersey side, hit me up. Like I'm actually down for meetups. I'm a small enough content creator that I don't have to worry about people stalking me. So there we go. Awesome. Oh yeah. Oh, decarceration off WhatsApp. Anyway, so yeah, I'm just currently waiting on my hot pot to arrive. I have no idea what I did with this, but here's hoping. So, just giving you a heads up, I know that I've been like not eating much at all, but if you want me to eat, it's very simple. All you have to do is just get me to a clay pot. I'll eat everything. So, I'm wondering what's going to happen now that the GOP's Texas seat Out of all places, Texas, a notoriously red state. Thank you. I might need the actual hot pot. Uh, yeah. Yeah. Uh, no. Yeah. Honestly, like, if it wasn't for the fact that I already have some stalkers and they scare the shit out of me, I absolutely would be like, "Hey, stalk me on here." But I actually do have stalkers, so that kind of stuff just scares me a little bit. Um, but yeah, Texas has kind of been a little bit of a throwaway state for the GOP for the past, like, what, 30 years? I think the last actual Democrat who was the governor, wasn't it that lady, not Christy Whitman, that's Jersey, Ann Richards. And I will never understand why they went so hard right after Ann Richards because she was amazing. So I think that just the fact that we did have this major upset, I think that it is going to send the GOP into a spiral. But I want to hear what you guys have to say. Did you guys even hear about this? Because everything has been Epstein, 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 Epstein lately, and honestly, I'm kind of over the Epstein shit. I do apologize if there's a lag. Whew. But I don't know. Heart shape, thank you. By the way, just so you know, they do have green tea here. My drink of choice. So let's talk a little bit more about what's going on in the news. As many of you guys know, the whole Colbert Report thing, the Trump had, I think the troubling question, decarceration says, I think the troubling question is, has the GOP abandoned populism in favor of minority rule? Because they have ways of fixing these things now. That's a great question, and I honestly think that it's been minority rule for a hot minute. It's never actually been about populism. It was like they said it was populist, but it wasn't actually populist. What it actually was getting people to agree to give them enough power for them to just basically be tyrants. But it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen in the next couple of months. Because I don't think that the GOP was ever expecting people to turn away from the Republican brand. Coming out. Awesome. Thank you. And to a point, I don't even think us leftists actually saw the same thing happening. Because if you think about it, most of the people on the left, like, we all know that these guys were freaking brainwashed. Like, they honestly believe anything that George Bush said. They believed anything that Donald Trump said. If Donald Trump said that somebody needed to die, they would have fucking killed him. And how do we know that? It's because this happened. So the fact that that's starting to wear thin in a place like Texas is a big deal. The only place where I could see this being a bigger issue is like in Iowa or Idaho or one of those scary places where like there's all those white nationalists. Decarceration says, I feel as if Republican politics have gone from a guy I can have a beer with to an obnoxious asshole who mirrors my worst instincts. I actually will agree with that. There was a certain point where Republicans had a certain Southern charm. And I say this as obviously a white woman. And, okay, a white woman who has a fetish for Southern guys. Sorry, I will admit it. But you know, like that Southern drawl, like they always just seem like they would be the guys with the common sense, the down home cooking that involves like several sticks of butter for no reason. But somewhere along the way, it stopped being that cuddly thing with like mildly racist overtones that you could maybe second guess yourself into thinking that it was something else. It started turning into my what's up? Yeah, I never got the hot pot though. Sorry, what was the name of it? The spicy Szechuan. Spicy Szechuan. Yeah, but somewhere around, I'd say like 2008, um, GOP politicians started getting meaner and meaner and more aggressive. And it was around the same time that I noticed a lot of that alpha male politics stuff, the alpha male red pill dating thing really starting to take off with Andrew Tate. And I honestly believe it was a coordinated psyop because there's, hey, darling, I am from the South. Come over, I can't read. Hey, Patty. So, yeah, like, I honestly think that there was a little bit of a coordinated psyop there because there was a certain point where I started to notice that most right wing men started to view aggression as a virtue. And they honestly thought that it would get them laid. And obviously, we saw the fall of the red pill. We saw how well that worked. And like the only women who are actually into hyper aggressive men tend to be women who have more issues than me. And that's not a good thing. So there's that. Um, I do think that there was a lot of psyop trying to get people to back these like hyper aggressive jerks. And I do think that to a point they really started to play it up, primarily because one of the things that got Trump elected was the fact that he had that shock value, you know? Pardon me. I put so much spicy sauce in that I'm actually having my nose run. I have a little bit of a thing for spicy food. So I don't know. Audience, I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think that this was a branding change that was conscious on the GOP parts? Do you feel like there was a psyop that kind of helped people embrace that hyper aggressive toxic masculinity vibe, or is that just all in my head? Hey, show me hearts if you agree with me. Decarceration says there are more GOP candidates that are not geographically specific. People who were born on the internet, not in the South, I think that appeals less to women, but maybe I'm wrong. There it is. You ordered soup, right? Yes. That's why it's spicy, right? Yes. All right, we're good right now. Folks, I don't know how to tell you this, but I've been waiting for the actual thing that I'm going to be using to cook all of this stuff with, but it has not come yet. But I've been eating lots of bok choy, so I guess that's cool. And kimchi. But yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned people being born on the internet because, for all intents and purposes, I was one of the very first people to really be so deep in the internet that I was kind of an exception to the rule back in the day. Yeah, and he says, I think it was wired into people a long time ago, born in the South and growing up here. I can tell you it's like Trump gave them permission to be themselves. That is such a sad thing to hear because I was hoping it'd be different. With me, like I was one of those kids who I never was able to go to parties because I wasn't invited in high school and in grade school. Because honestly, I was kind of an annoying little shit, but I also had hyper protective parents. And like quite literally, like I maybe went to like a handful of parties my entire school career. And so I ended up on the internet because my parents didn't give a shit what I was reading on the internet. Thank you. Yep. Sorry about the wait. Not a problem. And the button on the left will change the temperature. So. Sweet. Yep. That's wrong. All right. So now we're cooking. And it's weird because I realize like now that by the time I was in my late teens and my early 20s, I'd internalized so much toxic crap. And it's absolutely terrifying to think that there's like an entire generation of kids who had that happen. So let's get cooking. Yum. I got lobster balls, so yeah, these are some big ass lobsters, I guess. Wonder how people decide that the testicles are good. Let's see, when hear people who say it's good to have a president where when he talks to you, you don't have to look up a dictionary. I just feel like, yeah, you shouldn't have told yourself like that. You know what? Decarceration, I agree. I absolutely agree. Like, that's not something that I want to ever hear somebody in my vicinity say to me. Simply because, I mean, first of all, you're pretty much just admitting that you're dumb. And second of all, it's so disturbing to know that these people vote. Like, I know that there are some highly academic, I should not say intelligent, like academic white nationalists out there. I also know that there's some highly academic, whatchamacallits. Oh, everything else okay? Yeah, yeah. Some highly academic misogynists and homophobes and transphobes. Yanni says, yeah, decarceration, there's actually a lot of anti-intellectualism lately. And you're absolutely correct. Almost every single dictatorship has an anti-intellectualism movement simply because intellectual thought tends to kill off dictatorships. Stupid people without schooling are people who are easy to control. You're correct. Anti-intellectualism no longer has the sheen of shame. And I honestly think that's time that we bring back shaming anti-intellectuals. Exactly, Yanni. That is why every dictator has a tendency of killing the intellectuals first. I mean, out of all the people during the pandemic, Fauci was the one who was trying to save humanity, was trying to get us to do the vaccine, was trying to get us to isolate. He had to have, I still think he does have, I'm not sure, a security detail. Candace Owen has a top 5 podcast in America where everything she says needs to be agreed with. What fucking moron says this shit? Oh, Candace Owens. I can't tell whether she actually has like issues, or if she's just that big of a grifter. Because a lot of the time, I genuinely believe that Mrs. Owens really thinks that if she keeps disparaging women and her own race, that somehow old white men are going to accept her, and it's never going to happen. Trump took his Secret Service protection away. Oh my God. Like, not for nothing, but I can't understand what. Honestly, if I was Fauci, I'd just be like, you know what? Fuck all you guys. Live in squalor. Die, please. I don't know how he has the patience to not just abscond from the US, flee the country, go to any country that would have welcomed him with open arms. Pardon me. And, just leave America to its own devices. It honestly makes more sense for him to do that. Mm. These lobster balls are fire, guys. Like, I wish you guys were here to actually try one of these balls. And the dipping sauce I made today is also fire. Decarceration says, I do think a shared value of MAGA is, yes, we can get away with this. And that very often is in regards to actual crimes. The entitlement on display is being rewarded, not checked. Yanni says, because I generally believe that he actually cares about his job. And that's the kind of sad thing about this entire situation. Fauci really did care about his job, and he really did care about people. Decarceration, I am so sorry that you ate Skittles for dinner. This is actually technically my first meal of the day. I had a handful of berries and a smoothie for breakfast and lunch. So I was like, you know what? I've been trying to cut back on meat, but it's not good for me to cut back on meat, so I'm just going to eat it. Hi, Joe. How are you? So, yeah, like, it's interesting. Most of history, when things fall apart, there's always those people who like they're gonna be like the last vanguard. And Christopher says, I had Reese's peanut butter cups for lunch. Oh, it's just a scheduling issue. Yanni says, I look at who MAGA really are. They're either people who peaked in high school or they're so terminally online their brain is run by Grok. Mm, you have a point. There's also like some MAGA who I genuinely believe are genuinely schizophrenic. Like I've written about this dude before, but I actually knew somebody who was he's Asian and he's gay and he's a QAnoner. And he was telling me that he's the mother and father of his cat. He wanted to start a cat breastfeeding program. Yeah. Needless to say, I think that he was a case of mental illness because he was like crazy pro Trump. Decarceration says, well, let me float something. Okay, what do you want to float? Would you like to float some beat? Oh, it's in the Epstein files that Pizzagate was actually started by Epstein. That's interesting. So that was a psyop that was there to, what was it there for? Because I understand that like all of this was done as a way to kind of get women out of gaming, get women out of a lot of things that disempower women. But my question is, for what purpose and for what end? I got out of prison and I saw a commercial that said, look, here's a fact. Everyone loves doorbell cams. Yeah. And that kind of feels like how the government operates now. Honestly, I kind of stopped believing that we actually have privacy these days. And didn't Jeff have some beef with Clinton before he was arrested? I think you're right. Epstein and Clinton did seem to like fall off with each other. I actually covered this in my most recent article where I talk about the fact that the Epstein list is pretty much a who's who of very scary fucking people. Like you have actual like royalty on there, you have like world leaders, you have industry leaders and almost everything. Pizzagate being everything Hillary. I was okay, am I confusing Pizzagate with Gamergate right now? I forget. Well, there's definitely been like a cooling off period between Clinton and the other one. And I remember that Hillary actually was willing to openly testify under oath against everyone else in the Epstein files. So I'm wondering what's going on there. Because as I said in my last article, like the list is a who's who of very scary people. And if very scary people want you indebted to them, or if you know something that you're not supposed to know about them, they'll find a way to get you to behave or else. And this wouldn't shock me if this was their way of retaliating. Yeah, Gamergate was the insults with the gaming. That's right. Hey guys, please don't mind me eating the shrimp bowl. It's just I really, really, really enjoy shrimp shells. Well, sometimes. I'm kind of craving them right now. All right. Also, it's kind of a bitch to clean on camera. The list is the proof of the rot with the Western capitalist war. You're correct. Absolutely. And the funny thing is that like this also reeks of like the Panama Papers. You know what I mean? Like, remember when we had that entire ginormous thing of like the Panama Papers and all these millionaires having offshore accounts and cheating taxes, and all of a sudden it just vanished. And then the person who leaked them died. Mm. Hi, Dana. Welcome to Ossiana Dinner Hour. I'm at KPOT. Wanna hop on? Okay, who wants Data to hop on? Show some heart reactions. Oh, I'm convinced this is why TARP was really passed in 2008. If this collapsed back then, we would have known everything. Decarceration says, here's a key issue. A lot of major unelected right-wing voices champion Pizzagate. That's true. Years later, that wasn't a deal breaker, and they allowed people, they're still allowed into public spaces to millions of listeners. And you know what? You're right. Honestly, there should be laws where if you're peddling conspiracy theories and they're proven to be false, then you should have your right to be a broadcaster or be a public figure taken away. That's just me. I'm just asking questions. I'm just making suggestions. Like, Pizzagate was weird because you could tell that there was something very weirdly political among people who, like, they were never really political to begin with. And it's funny how like, that entire scandal made Hillary's life hell, but, you know, yeah, I mean, they made Hillary's life hell. There was no formal apology. There was no restitution, nothing like that. No one held them responsible for being, let's say, stupid pieces of shit. Like, I'm not letting Jack fucking Krasoviak get in a word edgewise ever. Agreed. Pizzagate and the emails equals Trump winning. Yeah. Literally, like, half of his campaign was, but her emails, but her emails. It became like a joke. And then they found out that the pizzeria didn't even have a fucking basement. I didn't even know that there was actually a real pizzeria tied to it. Like, let me just go and get some more sauce. I feel like mixing up another sauce. Uh, Also, um, oh shit.